What is going on, everybody? Brickbuilder here, and welcome to another episode on the DinoRaids faction server. Today, we're going to be talking about ways for beginners on the server to make money, because in factions, making money is so important for being able to buy the things you want to buy. So let's get right on into all the different methods that I personally use to go from $1,000 to $22,000 on the server in not a lot of time. I think it was about like an hour, 30 minutes, somewhere between like 10 minutes and an hour. It doesn't take that long. Okay, so the first one is just like in real life and in real business, you want to create passive income. So income that goes without you having to do a lot of work. The easiest one I can think of for that would be sugarcane farms. It's so easy to make a sugarcane farm, as you can see here, and then you simply just do /sell hand and boom. Each one makes 10 bucks. It's not a lot of money, but if you can set up a massive sugarcane farm, then you could be earning hundreds of dollars every minute on the server, depending on how big you make your farm. It's definitely a good thing to consider doing, and it's already made me a few $100s, just this little farm here of like 18-ish sugarcane. It's not huge, but it is enough to get started. The next one is a cactus farm. You can create a cactus farm as well. Cactus is another crop that you can grow and sell for a fair chunk of money, and it is relatively effective in my opinion. Alrighty, so the next effective method that I have found works pretty well, and I personally think it's a smart one. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go /wild. You're gonna go somewhere in the wild, anywhere. It doesn't really matter where, you just have to be in the wild, because if you do this at your base, you risk being raided relatively easy. And then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna find a random spot and you just dig down. You're gonna dig down relatively low. I would go level 11 personally. This method for me works pretty effectively and is pretty much how I made most of the money, I'll be honest. It's not passive income though. This, you do have to work for it and you kind of have to like grind for it, but it's definitely doable and you get a fair chunk of money out of it, so it's definitely worth it. And as you upgrade your pickaxe, it'll get even better when you get efficiency, when you get fortune, etc. But what you do is you start strip mining in the wilderness. And there's a lot of ores on the DinoRaids faction server, so it's relatively easy to do this. You can go ahead and strip mine for however long you want, and you actually can get a really large chunk of cash. It's really useful, and as you upgrade your pickaxe to get fortune, the amount of ores you get per break only goes higher, which means more money per ore. In addition to that, if you get efficiency, you can break more ores at a faster rate, so again, it's more money. And on the server, since you start with diamond tools in your low-level kit, this is a really doable thing for everybody on the server. There's no difficulty in getting a good enough pickaxe to do this, and it's relatively fast because you're already starting with a diamond pickaxe, which is quite speedy if you think about it. And there's a lot of ores, as you can see. I'm constantly running into ore veins, just mining these ore veins, so there's a lot of veins of ore on the server for you to go ahead and mine, with all different ores being highly valuable. Honestly, gold and iron ingots are a great money maker. Definitely look into them. Coal as well, just because with fortune you can get so many, coals per break, which is pretty cool. Redstone as well, lapis, diamonds of course are quite nice as well, and so you're not going to need them to craft anything because you get diamond tools with your kit as well as diamond armor. So you're never really going to need to worry about that element of it, and you just can kind of, use them as a product. Now, for the record, I want to show something quickly, because this is something that I think a lot of people on the server might not know about. So we're going to sell 1 granite here. Look, 1 granite makes $1. 1 cobblestone makes half $1. So granite is technically classified as a stone. So is andesite, and so is diorite. So if you're going to be mining ores, and you're going to be mining cobblestone with the intention of selling it, you'd be much more effective mining this granite here, because you get double the money. It's just a very useful tip, and it actually generates a ton more cash in the grand scheme of things, because per pickaxe you're going to be able to get you're going to get double the amount of money essentially that you would make, which is a few $1,000s, which might not be a lot late game, but early game, like the whole server is right now, is definitely going to make a huge difference in who is richer and who's poorer on the server. So it's definitely just a little tip and trick to keep in mind, and I strongly recommend using it if you are able to. Because if you're just going to mine cobblestone, it's not as effective as mining diorite, andesite, and granite. You could also, in theory, smelt the cobble into stone to sell. Because the reason that the granite and all sell for more is because in Minecraft game code, they're classified as stone variants. But the thing is, when you smelt the cobblestone into stone, you're actually losing a profit, usually depending on what fuel you use in the furnace to actually turn it into stone. In my opinion, I just wouldn't recommend turning it to stone. If you're going to use it, just sell it or use it as a wall in your faction or whatever sort of thing you're going to do with it, because cobblestone is used in making some pretty effective faction walls. But this method here is just relatively effective, and let's go ahead and see how much we've made from some of this stuff so far once we're done mining this redstone vein, just to demonstrate kind of how effective this can be, even though that, you know, we're relatively low still on the time we've dedicated into this. We haven't put a lot of time in this, we put like a few minutes, but let's see how much money a few minutes can actually make us once we're done with this, because it can make a hefty paycheck, especially as as I said before, as your tools get more enchantments and such. And also, this is a method not a ton of people use, but a friendly reminder is don't just do this outside of your faction, because if you do that, you're essentially leaving a strip mine directly towards the base. You know what I mean? Like, to your faction base. It's gonna make it a lot easier for people to raid you and get closer to your faction, and maybe even just walk right into your faction, which is really dumb, and you don't want that to happen. You want people to actually have to raid into your base and make it take time. So let's go ahead and see how much some of this stuff has sold for. 30, 45, that's not a lot. Let's see how much all the redstone is. See the redstone right there, 800. The diamonds, 960. The coal, another 100. You see what I mean? And then if we also smelted up this stuff here, we would probably get multiple hundreds more. So it's just a very effective method overall. So we're back at the base, smelting up the ores that we have over here that we needed to smelt in ingots. But we're going to talk about some different ways to earn money that I currently can't do just because I don't have enough, but eventually are different ways to earn cash on the server. And that's my home command, so I'm just gonna move and get that canceled. We are gonna sell this for 10, and we're gonna sell this for 4. So it is more effective to use sugarcane than it is to do cactus, for a friendly reminder. Okay, so another way to earn money on the server, a little bit more of a high risk return type investment, would be a spawner. You can buy spawners, but the ones I would recommend buying would be the blaze. If you're trying to earn experience, you're trying to earn blaze rods, and you're trying to be able to sell stuff. It's pretty effective in my opinion, and it's likely the best one. Although it does cost almost $1 million. It's about 3/4 of a million. So it is really, really expensive. So it's going to take a lot of mining to be able to afford your first blaze spawner. But if you set up a grinder for them and you get your faction members to grind it out, it's definitely very useful overall. Some other different methods, of course, you can use the gen buckets to do some cool stuff there with cobble genning and all that sort of stuff. Definitely a thing you can do. I'm not sure if everybody knows about that, but it's a thing. You can sell ender pearls, which are useful as well. You can sell all different items essentially, but the big ones, in my opinion, you can also sell wheat for 6. That definitely is a, you know, better price than the cactus. And also the seeds can also be sold, or you can just ever expand your farm, which both are quite useful. But farming is definitely the best way to make money early on, as well as this smelting method, because look, if we just take what's been smelted so far, like look, 24 gold ingots sells for 700 bucks. You know what I mean? That's insane, especially when you can get multiple stacks of gold just because of how high the ores are on the server. I'm pretty sure the generation for ores has been turned up. If not, this world just has an insane amount of ores in it. So overall, that's definitely a very effective method to earn money. There's, you know, a bunch of other things that you can also, you know, purchase with your money on the server. Gapples, creeper eggs, and those god apples. The gen buckets as well. You could buy all sorts of stuff. Like the gem buckets, they get relatively expensive. You can buy different blocks that you might want. You can buy all different things. Whatever it is that you think you might want. But I'm going to go ahead and set up a quick little enchantment section here as we get going. Because as I mentioned, with the method that I prefer, which is the mining method right now, if I'm going to use the mining method, you realistically do need to have a better pickaxe. So as you saw there, that was a pretty quick investment as far as buying the enchantment table and such goes. But it's just the enchantment table, 15 books is all I'm going to need. So it's relatively simple to do this and throw that down, and then, you know, get these bookcases thrown as well. And then you should be able to simply upgrade your pickaxe, and that's a huge benefit. Upgrading your pickaxe and getting some nice stuff on it as far as enchants go will help you, 100% guaranteed. So we're gonna go ahead and actually purchase a block of two of these, and we're gonna go ahead and get some enchants on a pickaxe. So let's see what we end up getting here, guys. Leave a like, it's gonna make us extra lucky. Let's see, efficiency 4, just efficiency 4. I mean, I'm not gonna complain, that's okay. Another thing is you actually get a lot of experience because of how many extra ores there are on the server. So you can easily convert your mining experience that you get into making more tools. But there's just so many different ways to make money on the server, and I figured today's episode I would go ahead and showcase some of those for all you new factions players who are interested. If you're interested in joining the faction, let me know down below with a comment why you should join, etc., why you want to join the clickbait faction on the DinoRaids server. But that is going to do it for today's episode. If you guys enjoy, like and subscribe for tons more content, 1 to 4 videos a day. But I will see you guys in another episode of DinoRaids Factions.